Hi, you're on XERFIX channel. In this video, I will talk about the new abilities of the agents, new cool Skibidi, and show the secret moments that you may not have noticed in the new 64 series. I want to start analyzing with some interesting facts. First of all, in our video with footage from the series, which came out long before the release of this series, we guessed that the Titans will be trapped. In this series, there were a lot of details that gave the solution to a lot of questions. Secondly, under the series itself, there is a caption. The Titans are chasing G-Man. Although this phrase does not give us anything because we can see it, especially that Speakerman Titan. Since 57 series chasing him, we will return to the interesting facts. But for now, let's start with the breakdown. The series begins with explosions and fleeing agents. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, put a like and a bell to not miss new videos on the channel. After the camera shows us the reason for wanting to save their lives, we notice that they were not just running to save themselves, but because they are being chased by a new Skibidi Toilet. And against his background, we see two partners with whom we are already familiar. G-Man left without updates and a helicopter, judging by the fact that the toilets decided to replenish their troops with unusual fighters. We can assume that in this way, they want to prevent even a small chance to heal damaged agents. Perhaps they are fed up with engineers who repair almost any damage that they have no other options but to chop agents into very small pieces. So it will be difficult for them to reconstruct, which may affect the number of troops in the army. Next, we can see Speakerman and the appearance of Cameraman, who decided to destroy it with a sledgehammer. He was able to get as many as 3 improvements. First of all, in the eye, immediately strikes this gun attached to the arm. I have already mentioned it in the analysis of 63 series, and an interesting observation if anyone remembers that in 55 series, he already had such a gun, but he lost it in the battle with the skull. If you look closely at his old version of the gun and the new one, you can see that he became a little bit bigger. It's very happy that he continues to make upgrades. Well, about his second and third improvement, we will talk soon. Our camera turns, we see a smiling G-Man who brought with him a walking bomb. Already in this frame, you can see explosives. And here, you can even see some duct tape and a battery, according to the way he was built from improvised means. He himself is very large, so it is very lucky that the Titan added his second improvement in the form of a holographic shield. In episode 57, I've already talked about this shield, but that time it was just a roof. Now his shield is one of the strongest defenses in the series. This time, we see how the engineers realized the lack of such a cool ability and added him such a cool shield. No more will he have to constantly break roofs or carry weak shields to defend himself. After all these events, Titan decided to flush Skibidi in the old and working method. But pay attention to the shots on the right. At the moment when he flies up to the right on the TV, you can see the inscription tripe, which, in principle, it was already clear from the smile of G-Man, explosives that can be seen with unarmed eyes. But maybe the word trap refers not only to this bomb, we'll talk about that later. After the toilet was successfully flushed, it set a timer for the explosion, instead of making the explosion without a report back to detonate immediately. Why do they make the alarm clock with a timer, it seems? So the Titans have time to think before the explosion and easily destroy. This is the first time they have done this, not counting Cameramans. How did the Titans realize there was going to be an explosion? I think it's because of their knowledge of humans, which gives them an advantage in such things. And what about the timer? Because they could not put it, they could do it for warning or not being able to make normal bombs. But the scientist has great knowledge. So it's not clear why they need such a stupid technology because they could lose such a cool trap. After this scene, we can see the 4 helicopters that we talked about in the previous videos because this shot was shown to us a day before the release of the series. That cameraman decided to kill with a small charge from the built-in cannon in his finger. The last time we saw it was in episode 21, where it was improved, and it's remarkable because he already has a cannon. It seems that he decided not to waste huge shells on these weak enemies. Of course, after this destruction of explosives and 4 helicopters, the operator gave him a thumbs up. By the way, remember I talked about the 3 improvements of Titan. So at the moment, when he flies, you can notice that his jet engines are blue. We could still notice it in the last series, although before they were the usual color of fire, but most likely it is not that full-fledged improvement, but just a color change for the external beauty of the hero. As the blue color is more combined with the colors of the character, only in real life, blue fire is much stronger than usual, so he could fly faster as Dafuk compares real life with the series. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and put a bell to not miss new videos. Then, Speakerman told him to keep flying for G-Man because there is no time to lose. He is still at large, at the end of the most interesting moment in which we see the author of the series himself. This time, he can be seen clearly. In addition to this, we can see his face on all the screens. Last, but not least, we can see his ability to teleport as he disappears at the end. But what could it mean? Write in the comments your opinions. We know how he appears, and now we know how he disappears. Soon, there will be less secrets about this character. Let's go back to the beginning, how friendly they are running away from Skibidi. The thing is that they are being chased by an enemy who goes even against his allies. Maybe it was a last resort, or maybe the scientist and G-Man decided to go their own way. While ignoring the weak allies, they together ambush the Agent V. And there are a few more details in this footage. Let's see, first of all, this cameraman on the left. Look how cool he is hiding. Also, look what is inside this vacuum cleaner. We can see a little speakerman who survived. The back of the toilet is not that trash can on wheels, by the way. Technology began to be actively used after 61 series. The second improved ally had a bomb with a substance inside after the collision, except for the explosion. We see something like green acid, by the way, about acid. For the first time, we noticed this technology in 55 series. If you rewatch the series and watch the screens, it turns out that Dafuk can control the technology, or maybe he is a hacker. It turns out that this inscription was left by him because he has access to these screens. This secret agent tried to warn the Titans that this is a trap, that it is not necessary in close combat to destroy this toilet. It turns out in this series, he is for the agents. It is very strange that G-Man is now shown without the scientist because he has no chance against the Titans and he risks it a lot. When he retreated, on his face was visible smirk. As to me, he is specially leading the Titans, not just retreating scared. The scientist planned something to do. For this, he needs a trap. On the screen, this word hints that the scientist has some plan. How to defeat the Titans? Purely physically fight with them is almost impossible. Then we'll talk about Daofk. Here, he does not just affect the plot in the open, as was in 62 series, and now shows us his abilities. He can literally disappear. It is not quite clear what exactly happens. After vaporization, either he becomes invisible or he teleports and appears in another important place. Well, this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.